Hello YouTube, this is the Bucket coming at you today with a Mauser HSc in 32 ACP. This is steel frame, steel slide, steel barrel. This gun was produced probably in 1943 for the war effort. It has been Waffenamt, which means it was accepted by the German military. There is no import mark, so it means it was a duffel bag gun, which in World War II, you could take a war prize home and didn't have to do any specific paperwork on it. Now, most did, and you will find those guns, and they do usually sell at a premium if they still have their war bring back papers. This one did not. This is an interesting firearm that was made by the Mauser company. So the Mauser was making, still making the 1934. They had a lot of different year markings as they updated them. It was clear that it was out of date. It was not going to sell as well. The Walther company had come up with the PP and the PPK, and they were just absolutely eating their lunch on those contracts. And so Mauser decided to come up with a new pistol. Now, they hired a 25-year-old by the last name of Seidel and gave him the job of designing a pocket pistol that would primarily be used for commercial sales or sales to officers, and then a lock breech in the 9mm, and design them both at the same time so they would have a certain aesthetic that would come, but looking very, very similarly. And since he was designing two pistols, and he was told explicitly, make sure you do not violate any of Walther's patents, because Walther was a little litigious, and that gave him a unique need that took him a little bit of time. So it took him 5 years. He started in 1934 and he finished it in 1939, and he ended up coming with the Walther HSc. The HS stands for self-cocking hammer. They did require that it had to have a hammer, and this gun does have a hammer. The HSA would be the broom handle Mauser. There was another pistol that they actually had used, and it actually ended up being the CZ27 in its last iteration. So the C stands for the third pistol that had a hammer. And they produced this gun, and they could not get the rights to be able to produce this gun until 1940, when the German military said, we need more pistols, we need more pistols. And the German government finally told Mauser, you can go ahead and start producing this pistol to be sold to support the war effort. Now, obviously, they did very well with these guns. They sold a lot of them. They sold over 250,000 of them. This is a late war production, so it means 43, 44. You could see that you could see some milling marks on it. The bluing is not quite as deep as it once was, although I do think the bluing on this particular one is very, very nice. This is a good firearm, and I like this. I think this is a better looking firearm than the Walther PP or PPK. I know a lot of people question my sanity on that one, but I just think I kind of think this is more stylish. It feels great in the hand. You're really only going to get 2 full fingers on it. It is a double action, single action firearm. So it does have a unique system in it that you guys might have seen me playing with. Now, mine's an older model that there is a piece in the back that's worn out. So it's supposed to stay locked open, and mine does not do that anymore. But you could see when I do it locked back like that, there is no slide stop or slide release. So if you want to drop this slide, you have to put in a magazine, and when you do, it will automatically go into battery with the hammer back. If you want to decock this, because it's a double action, single action, you actually put it on safe and pull the trigger. Now, the gun can't go off, because when you put it on safe, it actually cants the firing pin up so that it cannot be shot. It is a pretty unique design. Well, it is nothing that's taken over as something that we still use today, but it is an interesting design, and it makes it kind of fun. To disassemble this firearm, it's relatively easy. Go ahead and put it on safe. There's a little plunger right here. You just push that down, and my fingernail is not cooperating with this particular one right now. Let me get this off camera a little bit so I can do it. Alright, so I was doing a little goofy, so you actually need to have the hammer back. So when you push this down, this just slides right off and it comes off. And again, like you can see, it's hard to see, but right up in here, the firing pin will actually pivot out when it's on safe. Now, this gun is going to have the serial number on it three different places. There's going to be the serial number here, the serial number penciled on the slide, so the barrel and the slide, and then down on the frame there is the serial number there as well. Now, after the war ended, they still produced these pistols, and they produced them in .32 and .380, and actually Seidel ended up going to work for H&K, and he actually brought this design with him. And the H4 is pretty much a direct copy of this particular firearm. So it was in production for long after the war. The sights on this particular is just a trough with a single white post. It is hard to pick up. It's kind of common fare. So when I took this to the range, thank you UGD for letting me borrow one of your targets, I could get some fairly good accuracy with a small gun like this. And this is what you're going to do with military sights. I love the .32 ACP. Mrs. Bucket does not like to fire guns, and .32 is one of the only calibers she'll shoot. So I really do enjoy having a .32 around. With me having lots of kids, 22s are fun to learn with, but .32 is a great intermediary round before they're ready for the 9mm. So I want to thank you guys for sticking with me and listening to the information I have about some of my old World War II guns. If you like what I had to say, go ahead and put the press the like button. If you have somebody that's interested in kind of that World War II firearm, go ahead and feel free to hit share. And I want to thank you guys all for supporting the channel, and you stay classy, YouTube.
I learned a lesson. Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.